first memory of a Fallout game was playing it with friends on his Xbox, sitting on top of Tenpenny Tower and watching Megaton go up in flames. Not long after this, I got the game for myself, played through the main story and loved the entire thing. Now that was back in 2011, and a lot's happened since then, so I recently decided to go back and fully explore everything the capital Wasteland has to offer. My entire journey through the Wasteland was streamed on Twitch, and the playthrough can be watched in a playlist on YouTube on the Eddie Move VODs channel. There's a link in the description. From the humble beginnings in Vault 101 and getting that first BB gun, waves of nostalgia kept flowing over me. I wanted to fully see all the content created for this game, and as such, I stayed and listened to NPC conversations that I definitely wouldn't have done before. From learning about my fellow Vault Dwellers' GOAT results to a conversation between a man and a holographic brain, there was so much lore that I hadn't fully grasped when I'd played this game in my teenage years. After leaving the vault and disarming the bomb at the local town of Megaton, not choosing chaos this time, I set out to explore the Wasteland. I truly wanted to get lost in exploring the Wasteland and then let the little markers on my HUD guide where I was going to go. I did this and maybe explored a little bit too far, actually sequence breaking the game and finding my father way earlier than I was supposed to, skipping out some of the main storyline. To be honest, I was having an explore. The Wasteland is truly a varied place, and the many types of locations you can stumble upon make this game what it is. I found a building with an eldritch monolith in the basement, a cola museum with a very enthusiastic owner, and a man fused with a tree. Hi! There's just so many stories to be found, and the narratives throughout have many moral questions. One thing that really made Fallout appeal to me is the setting. An apocalyptic wasteland and how society starts to regrow is a fascinating subject, and one that Fallout really covers. There's various skewed moral compasses displayed by a lot of characters throughout, and you have to work out how your character is going to approach those situations. One thing I had no idea of when I first played the game was the lore regarding Vault-tec and why they built the vaults. They built them for social experiments, wide-ranging from like cloning to like the effect of sound to control the mind and much, much more. You can stumble upon and find out this lore in-game. You just got to go and actually read what's on the terminals. There's lots of voice notes and stuff, and it's great to do that. Now, because I had explored all of the locations and maybe seen a few too many things before coming to do the main storyline, my character felt a little bit over-equipped and a little overpowered. I then met Forks, a friendly super mutant, and the game completely changed at that point, to be honest. Forks is the most overpowered companion character I've seen in a video game. He's invincible. Like, I'd let him run ahead into a room full of enemies, and he'd come out with barely a scratch on him. It was like, I don't need to do anything anymore. I've got this invincible friend. In you go. Occasionally I'd fire from the back and whatever, just to make sure I was getting kill credit and getting the XP, but it was just, the game almost felt too easy. Now, this could probably be fixed, you know. I was playing on standard difficulty. I don't really like a huge challenge when I'm playing games. I much prefer to see the story. So with a higher difficulty, I'm sure the power level of Forks does get scaled down as well, and you do get him fairly late into the storyline. As well as exploring all the locations, I tried my hand at the massive variety of weapons. You've got energy weapons, small pistols, shotguns, sniper rifles, plasma, laser, mini nukes. There's so many. And the feel of the guns is great. The feel of firing a mini nuke and seeing it arc and hit your targets, and there's nothing left. If a mini nuke is on target, they're gone. They're turned into paste. It's lovely. And also using the VAT system where you pause the game, select which parts you want to target with a percentage chance, is a great way of doing it. One thing I did notice though, as the game was getting on, towards the end, some enemies were feeling really bullet spongy. And this is some of the enemies that were added in the DLC, stuff like the Feral Ghoul Reavers, Super Mutant Overlords. They're just so tanky. And like, if you haven't got a companion to take the aggro, you're just kiting back. You're literally just running in circles away from them and shooting them, and that's all you can really do. They're huge bullet sponges, and I can only imagine what that's like in harder difficulty levels. There was one gun that actually felt pretty underpowered, and that was the sniper rifle. In Fallout New Vegas, I used the Gobi rifle a lot, and that did so much damage. You were one-shotting pretty much everything with it. In Fallout 3, it was regularly taking 2 shots to take down like a human with a headshot from a sniper rifle. That's just it shouldn't be the case, right? It just felt weird. It felt really weird. Now, I also made sure to fully explore the DLC, including the Game of the Year edition. My favourite of the DLC is somewhere, I'm not sure if it's Point Lookout or the Pit. They were both really good. The first one, Point Lookout, takes you down the coast to a swampland infested with new creatures, characters and stories to discover. There's a whole load of quests and locations there. It's probably the largest in terms of the DLC. It takes the longest to fully explore. The Pit, however, is set in Pittsburgh, and I believe it's recently been added as a location to Fallout 76. It's the home of slavers, and towards the end of the story, there's a big old moral quarrel. That's a weird phrase. Moral quarrel. I think it's the phrase. It's fine. Now, all in all, I spent over 50 hours in the wasteland and encountered a few bugs. I had a fair few crashes, however, I never encountered an impassable point where I needed to reload to a previous save. I was using the unofficial patch, which I would recommend because it did help stability, because at one point, when I got to the very last story mission, it wouldn't then go past the credits. It would like freeze at the credits and just crash. However, when I disabled this unofficial patch, it went through fine, and this is also an issue when getting transported to Point Lookout. With the patch disabled, no issues. A lot of the other frustrations I had with the game were just me not paying attention to what I was meant to be doing, where I was meant to be going, and it was quickly fixed where I literally just looked at the quest tab and was like, how have I missed this? Or looked and read a note, I was like, what have I done? How am I this silly? How have I missed it? In conclusion, Fallout 3 was my first Fallout game. It's currently still my favourite. Now, I am yet to play through Fallout New Vegas with the DLC enabled, and I've heard the DLC is really good in that game. The way that stories unfold and locations just open up in front of you in Fallout 3, it's a sense of adventure and exploration that other open worlds I've played, they haven't quite matched it. Just the way you can walk into a town, chat to someone, and suddenly you've got this whole new universe of lore. Like most other Bethesda games, there's a huge modding community for Fallout. I didn't play it with any of these mods installed, just that unofficial patch that helps with the stability of the game. Maybe in the future I will go back and play through with some of the more advanced and fun mods enabled, maybe some of like the weather mods and stuff like that, but I just wanted kind of the vanilla experience this time through. Before I go back to do that, I've got a whole load of other games that I'm going to play through on Twitch. The next single player story game I'm thinking is likely to be Bioshock 1, another game I played years and years and years ago. And I'd love to re-experience it now that I've, grown up a bit, because again, I would have been mid-teens, like 16 or something like that, and at 28, completely different view on the world. All of these playthroughs are going to be streamed on Twitch, much like the Fallout one was, so go over to twitch.tv/EddieMoo, follow there and you'll get notified when I'm live. If you do miss out or you're not a huge fan of watching live streams, I'm also uploading everything here to the EddieMoo VOD channel. Again, linked in the description, and make sure to subscribe on there and then you'll get the uploads. I'm basically uploading one part a day. Some days I've streamed more than once, but it's just a regular, every day, here's a couple of hours or so of content, potentially more when it comes to the Bioshock one. We'll sort of see how the format and stuff goes. So yeah, subscribe to both channels. If you subscribe here, then it'll be more like reviews like this and other fun little videos. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video covering my experience with Fallout 3 in 2022. Let me know your favourite Fallout game down below. And until next time, stay safe.